What is going on, guys? It's your boy Glow here. I'm here with a buddy of mine. Today, I told you guys yesterday we're going to do a little bit different of a video. We're talking about medical marijuana today, and I've got a buddy with me who's actually a medical patient. You want to say hi?
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm from Vermont. I am a medical marijuana patient. I have been since, I believe, April or May of this current year.
Why did you actually start using pot?
Um, well, it started before I got the medical card. I started back in high school. It was on occasion. I had friends who had done it. It was something I did, really just during the summers. It was until my senior year or so where I had a back injury. Just lower back pain. I didn't really know what was going on. A friend of mine had suggested that I try some pot. I was on a bunch of painkillers. They were making me feel like shit. I was missing school. I was pretty miserable. So I started smoking, and honestly, it saved my life.
Just the pain killing effects themselves?
Yes. And more than just that. It was the pain, but with my back and with all the prescription pills that I was on, I had no appetite. I was always nauseous, and to be honest with you, I started smoking first because of the nausea, so I would eat. I'm skinnier than I used to be, but I've also gained about 20 pounds more. All throughout high school, I was about 200 pounds. When I had this back incident, I couldn't eat. I was always in pain. I dropped to about 150.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm 6'3", so it's pretty skinny.
That's a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah, so I'm up to about 170, 175 now. I feel good.
Nice.
So I started smoking, for the appetite, but I noticed that a side effect was pain relief, and I started smoking instead of taking my painkillers. By the time I started smoking, I'd already tried roughly 20 or so different medications.
Wow.
Yeah. Painkillers, steroids, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories.
All just for your back?
All for my back, yeah. This was just related toward the back pain.
Right.
Even injections.
Oh, wow.
The pain started my end of the junior year, and went into my senior year. So it took the doctors roughly about 8 to 10 months to figure out that my back was broken.
Right.
So I broke my back.
So were you walking around for 8 to 10 months with a broken back?
I was.
Oh my God.
I was. And
Okay.
I didn't know what was wrong. Honestly, I think it got worse because it was untreated for so long.
Right,
So,
totally.
Story short, December I had a spinal fusion. I was in the hospital for 7 days. I got out and I started smoking. I was on heavy painkillers for about 2 months, and then it was about December when I started smoking, and 5-6 months later I had my med card. I went from trying out 20 different medications to finding something that helped, and since I've gotten the medical card, I don't take any prescription pills. It's all marijuana.
It's
to help
just
my back.
marijuana.
Yeah.
None of the junkie, none of the side effects of anything else.
Exactly.
Nice.
My body doesn't shut down. I can feel, I can move, I can function.
What did you actually have to go through to get the medical card? You said there's like a 5-6 month span where you didn't have it.
It's not California medical over here, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to spend 6 months with a doctor, and that's for any patient. I already had, this was through my pediatrician, so I'd already known him for years at this point.
Right.
So the 6 months really didn't apply for me. For new patients, it would. I asked him to fill out the medical marijuana. It's a recommendation. It's not a prescription. All it really is, it states that your doctor has agreed that you have one of the qualifying symptoms of medical marijuana in Vermont. That 6 months of treatment has not helped this issue.
Okay.
And that medical marijuana may be beneficial.
So what are the other qualifications for medical marijuana other than just chronic back pain? What else can marijuana solve that you know of?
So specifically, it's into two categories. You need to either have HIV/AIDS, or you need to have cancer, or you can have a severe or debilitating disease of one or the following symptoms, which is a Kaposia wasting syndrome, which is when you can't eat.
Right.
That's for a lot of AIDS patients because they just don't have an appetite.
Right.
muscle spasms.
Okay.
That's, I believe, mostly towards the epilepsy part of medical marijuana, but it also might be able to be used if you had like muscle spasms in your back, or if
Right.
that makes sense.
Seizures almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because you're
Right.
spazzing, or the chronic pain. So it's very limited in the state of Vermont.
He has his Rhode Island medical card,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason he got that medical card was because he has spasms in his from the middle of his head to somewhere close to his lower shoulder blade area, and it just that there's a tendon in there that just tightens up, and his head gets pulled back, and there's just nothing he can do about it. So since he started smoking, that's actually helped him.
Marijuana saved my life.
So do you feel like actually starting smoking, has it actually affected your life in any negative ways, or do you feel addicted at all?
Yes and no. I'll answer the first part of your question first. You asked if it has any consequences, I believe.
Right, negative effects.
Negative effects. Honestly, the only thing I've had come across is the money issue.
Right.
Because the medical marijuana is illegal at a federal level. There's no insurance or anything that will cover it. Also, because it is a regulated and legal program, it's much higher than street prices. So,
Right.
where you could be paying $200, $300 for an ounce on the street, that's going for about $450 at the dispensary.
Oh, wow.
So, combine that with a maximum of 2 ounces a month, we're looking at almost over $800.
That's rent for another month, basically.
Yes.
That's a big bill.
Mm-hmm. Combine it with these patients who, half of them are dying, literally.
Right.
So they have medical bills, they have rent, they have bills, so they can't afford it. So a lot of legal medical patients still either A, buy on the street still, or don't get enough of their medicine.
Right.
It's really sad, or they go bankrupt. It's the issue. It's because there's only 4 dispensaries in the state, and it's a monopoly.
In the entirety of Vermont? Oh, wow.
Yes, and that's all that's going to be allowed under the current law.
Jeez.
So on the West Coast, you have unlimited dispensaries. It's a very relaxed system.
Mm-hmm.
Here, there's 4 dispensaries, and I can only legally go to 1.
Oh, wow.
So
you can't go to one south the next day and go to the north one?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I need to designate on my card,
really?
which one I want to go to. So in reality, I'm only legally allowed to go to 1 store.
Mm-hmm.
And before you sign up, you don't even know the prices or
Right.
any information. So it's a shot in the dark.
Other than the painkilling effects for your back,
Yes.
has marijuana actually improved your life in any other ways? Have you felt a change in mood or anything?
All right. Well, first, let's talk about your previous question. You had asked if there was any negative effects, any addiction.
Okay.
I would say as a medical patient, there is addiction, but there's only because of the pain.
Right.
If I was to stop smoking, my pain comes back, and so then I hurt, I'm in pain. So I guess, yes, I need marijuana,
Right.
but I'm not addicted. If there was another way for me to get pain relief, or if my pain was to go away altogether forever without needing any pain relief, then I would not be addicted. So
Right.
I would say there is addiction, but only because I need it for my pain relief.
Right. So it's not really an addiction. It's more of like the same way a sick person would want tissues. Almost.
That's a good way to put it, exactly. It saved
So-
my life.
Yep.
It saved my life, honestly. These pills were shutting me down. I was worried about addiction. I was on real heavy morphine pills, and morphine leads to heroin. Everyone knows that. And
Yeah.
in Vermont, there is just such a big problem with heroin in our state that, I don't want to become another statistic. I don't want to be a number. There's been some studies out recently that shows that states that enact medical marijuana laws, their opiate death overdoses are reduced by about 10% for states overall, and then another 15 or so percent for states that have dispensaries.
Wow. That's
So
impressive.
if you can, yes, because there's some states where, it's medically legal, but you have no way to get it.
Right.
That's such as New Hampshire right now. States as Vermont, California, where they have the dispensaries, their opiate overdoses has gone down. I believe it's 25 to 27%.
Holy cow.
So it's saving people's lives, mine included.
So even though some people to this day are still calling it a gateway drug, it's still also preventing other people or helping other people from using
Yes.
opiates or other more dangerous drugs.
Other more dangerous drugs, exactly. They say it's a gateway drug, but What about alcohol or cigarettes? Everyone I know started drinking alcohol or smoked a cigarette or were around people who drank alcohol or smoked cigarettes before they went out to any other drug.
Right.
And then even if you want to claim that alcohol and tobacco is a gateway drug, what about fast food, sugar, caffeine? You know, those are all drugs as well. So,
Right.
you know, I think it's only because it's an illegal drug, the most popular illegal drug, and the easiest to receive illegal drug, that it's considered a gateway drug. If it was to be legalized, you wouldn't have these illegal drug dealers who, when they run out of pot, have other illegal drugs to sell. So,
Right.
you know, if they don't have pot, you know, I have some shrooms, or here's a Valium, try this. You know, these regulated and legal dispensaries, they can't do that. You know, if anyone was to ever get caught even considering doing that, they're going to get shut down. It will never happen.
Right.
You know, they ID people. You know, people are worried about, you know, young kids getting marijuana, but I'm 19, you're 19, you know, I don't know about you, but it was easier for me to get marijuana than alcohol throughout whole high school.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
totally.
which one's regulated, which one is not, you
Right.
know, so it's really backwards.
If marijuana were easier to get legally, people wouldn't be willing to go to, you know, the shady drug dealing place where they've got all sorts of drugs that they're trying to sell to you.
Exactly,
When you go in
and
there.
as a medical patient, I feel that way now with the dispensary. If it was as cheap as street level prices, I would go there every single day.
Right.
When I go there, I know where it's been grown. I know that it's been grown safely. I know it hasn't been touched. I know it hasn't been laced. I know exactly what strand I'm getting. I know it's been weighed correctly. I even know the CBD and THC ratio of my marijuana. You can't get all that information and safety and knowledge from a drug dealer. I'm
Right.
sorry. You know, a dispensary, they can have 10, 15 different strands, edibles, tinctures, skin creams, stuff your neighborhood drug dealer could never even think of.
Right.
So, you know, a regulated and legal system for marijuana is really the way to go.
Of course, even though it is a medicine and it can be used as such, are there any, you know, obviously there are negative side effects to burning something and putting it in your lungs, you know. Cigarettes obviously are bad because of all the chemicals, but, you know, anything you're inherently burning is bad for you because smoke is just bad for your lungs.
Yes.
So are there healthier alternatives that you'd like to share that, you know, even aside from, like, you know, edibles and vaping, you know, most people know about those. Are there any other, you know, different ways of using the medicine that some people would be surprised by? You mentioned skin creams.
Yes, actually, I do get a skin cream. It's a CBD THC skin cream. It's similar. It's not a lotion. It's similar, I guess, you know, if you had like Burt's Bees lip balm or
Right.
something like that, you know, you put a little bit on your finger, and you just rub it wherever your muscle is tight or sore or where you're hurting, or
It's just like icy hot.
it is, honestly, that's the best way to put it,
Wow.
because it feels similar to icy hot as well, but it's marijuana.
Huh.
I think it's a great alternative for America.
Okay.
You know, it's not for everyone. You know, it shouldn't be pushed on everyone. I know people who just don't feel good when they have it. They get sick, they get nauseous, and it's not for everyone. We shouldn't assume that it is, but it's an alternative for people who need it, who
Right.
have gone their entire lives in pain, who have spent months and years looking for the right medication to treat their epilepsy or, you know, their tumors or their cancer, where they're trying to find something that's not chemical, that's not man-made, that's not a prescription pill, where you have this alternative. You know, it should be up to the person to decide what they want to put in their body. It should not be up to the government. I read last night on the news, or online on the news, that Chris Christie, surprisingly, he is very anti-marijuana, has approved a bill that will now allow schools to administer marijuana.
Really?
And it was basically for this girl.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, it's small baby steps, and it's small baby steps taken across America, you know, one state at a time. You know, right now it's mainly focused on the West Coast, and even in 2016, Nevada has already had their ballot approved to be voted on. California, I believe, is trying to get up to 8 on theirs, but there's 1 or 2 that look very good that should pass. New Mexico and Arizona are both working on recreational marijuana. And then on, you know, the East Coast,
Right.
close to us, we have both Maine and Massachusetts that will be legalizing, hopefully, both ballot measures.
Right.
And then here in our home state of Vermont, we will have what looks like the first steps for legalization through the legislation, where they will pass a bill and legalize it before June of 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
That's happening this year.
Yes, they are putting the bill up. I believe it's January 2nd is when they're going to put the bill up to start getting worked on, and they're trying to get it through as soon as possible.
Wow.
They want it done.
Like you said to me a couple weeks ago, people are dying waiting for medical marijuana. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming out. It's kind of a funny time for an interview, 7:30 in the morning, but
it is.
I think
it's the small time schedule that works for the both of us. Kind of.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming out. I think that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to cut this up. It's probably not going to end up being 20 minutes, but I'll leave the bulk of most conversations in. Leave out the stuttering and whatnot. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like. If you have thoughts or comments or whatever you want to tell me, stories about what the laws are like in your state, drop a comment. Let me know. I'm curious to see what it's like across America. And I know I have a lot of you guys that watch that aren't just friends in the local New England area. There's a lot of people from California and stuff. So do that for me. Drop a comment. I want to see. Other than that, I think that's all I got for you guys today. Keep going on. Have a good day.